Carrie White is the main protagonist in Stephen King's 1974 novel Carrie and the 4 films based on it. In today's video, we're going over the life of Carrie White using only the 1976 film as our reference. Helping us with today's video is CZsWorld, a YouTube channel that goes over the lives of horror characters. If you'd like to see another video Zachary and I worked on, you can go to his channel and watch the life of Carrie White, but this time through the eyes of only the novel. I'll link that video in the description. Welcome to the Amagi. In today's video, we're going over the life of Carrie White. Before we begin, we publish new content every week, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. The film doesn't say much about Carrie's early life, but what we do know is that Carrie was raised by her single mom, Margaret White, after her father Ralph left them to be with another woman.
The film starts one day after gym class. Carrie gets confronted by her classmates and gets her first period. Carrie, who was never taught what this was, believed that she was bleeding to death and pleaded to the girls to help her. The girls, however, ignored her cries and mocked her, throwing tampons at her.
Ms. Collins arrived seconds later and kicked the girls out of the locker room. The whole time, Carrie is screaming uncontrollably. This causes a light bulb to explode, revealing to the audience that Carrie has telekinetic powers.
Carrie's refusal to calm down forces Miss Collins to slap her in the face and snap her out of her fit. Collins afterwards apologizes and confronts her. Miss Collins later instructs Carrie to take a shower and afterwards takes her to the principal's office. The locker room incident soon spreads around and some kids mock her as she's waiting to be called in.
Ms. Collins suggests that it would be better for her to walk home, and while she's walking, a neighborhood boy biked by yelling "Creepy Carrie." This upsets her and she telekinetically knocks him down. Carrie arrives home and is confronted by Margaret, who had been informed of the incident. Carrie asked why she was not taught about this, and told her about all the girls laughing at her. Ignoring her cries, a cold-hearted Margaret simply forces Carrie to pray because, according to her twisted beliefs, she's still a girl who is susceptible to temptation. Carrie is then dragged and locked inside the prayer room and prays. Later that night, Carrie thanks her mother and goes upstairs.
In her bedroom, Carrie angrily causes her mirror to shatter using her telekinesis, but manages to rebuild it right before her mother could come in. The next day, Carrie watches from afar as Miss Collins confronts the girls over the incidents in the shower.
Carrie's next appearance is in Mr. Fromm's class. Mr. Fromm is reading a poem written by a popular student named Tommy Ross, and sarcastically expressed his distaste for it. Carrie shyly comments that she thought Tommy's writing was quote-unquote beautiful. Later that day, Carrie goes to the library to research her powers and ends up better understanding her gift. As she's reading, Carrie is approached by Tommy and is asked to go to prom with him. Scared, Carrie simply runs away from him.
Miss Collins later finds her and talks to her. Carrie reveals that she was asked to the prom by Tommy and tells about her suspicions that they're planning to humiliate her once again. Miss Collins tries to cheer her up by saying how pretty she is. Tommy visits Carrie again, but this time at her house. He once again insists on taking her to the prom. Afraid that her mother would come out and catch him at the door, Carrie quickly accepts.
Carrie later tells Margaret about Tommy and the prom and remarks that he is a good boy. Margaret, angered by this, throws tea into Carrie's face and tries to force her into the prayer room, exclaiming that boys always come after the blood. Carrie, however, refuses and uses her powers to cause their windows to beat. Her mom calls her a witch, and Carrie explains that she was actually born gifted with telekinesis.
Margaret says that Carrie's father was taken by sin as well, but Carrie remarks that that's untrue and that he fled for another woman, something that everybody around them knew. Carrie insists that she'll go to the prom and that things were about to change for them. That night, Carrie, a talented seamstress, made herself a gown for the prom night.
On prom night, Margaret approaches Carrie, stating that she knew Carrie would wear red, and insists that Carrie should stay and burn the gown. As Tommy arrives, Carrie telekinetically pushes her mother onto the bed to contain her and leaves after saying she loves her. At the prom, Carrie was well received by Frida Jason, who complimented her gown, while Norma and Freddie DeLois mock her and the others comment how different she looks. Tommy invites Carrie for a dance, which she initially declines. However, Ms. Collins later approaches them and talks to Carrie, changing her mind. On the spur of the moment, Carrie has her first kiss with him. Carrie then questions why he wanted to go with her, and was told that it was because she liked his poem. When Carrie receives the ballots for prom king and queen, she notices that they were there as candidates. Tommy convinces her to vote for themselves.
Much to her rejoice, the couple were elected prom king and queen. Carrie went on stage and was coronated. She was happy to see Sue Snell getting kicked out of the gym by Mrs. Collins. Her pleasure came to an abrupt end when a bucket of pig's blood was spilled on her. Tommy was hit on the head by the bucket above them and fell unconscious. Enraged, Carrie causes every door in the gym to close, locking everyone in.
Carrie watches as Norma, Freddie, and Kenny Garson escape. Carrie forces the doors to crush them. Focusing on the fire hose, Carrie opens it, washing Norma and everyone away from the door, creating turmoil in the gym. With the water from the fire hose, Carrie knocks Norma down and electrifies Mr. Fromm and Mr. Morton. Ms. Collins calls to Carrie, trying to calm her down. Carrie, possessed by rage, causes the basketball backboard to fall on Ms. Collins, killing her.
Carrie left as Mr. Fromm burned to his death, which set the gym on fire. As she walked home, Chris and Billy attempted to run her down, but Carrie attacked them, causing the car to keel over and explode, killing Chris and Billy inside. Carrie arrived home and found the house filled with flaming candles. As she washed the blood away, she burst into tears. Her mom then appeared, seemingly to comfort Carrie, telling her that she was conceived after Ralph got drunk and that they made love, which Margaret regretted. You know, stuff every kid needs to know.
Margaret invites Carrie to one last prayer, and as she recites the Lord's Prayer, comforted her in her arms. Margaret stabs her in the back, causing Carrie to roll down the stairs. Carrie, unable to stand up and run, watches as her insane mother approaches her, ready to kill the demon. Carrie then causes the kitchen knives to fly into her mother, stabbing her and pinning her to the walls. Carrie watches as her mother dies and screams in terror over her loss.
Carrie's powers then manifested on the loose, bringing the house down over her. Carrie rushed to the prayer room, carrying her mother, and stayed there as the house came down, killing her.
Did you enjoy the video? Be sure to check out the video Zachary and I made on his channel, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.